In this video, I want to take the time to recognize and discuss some of the issues that our lovely and talented female musician counterparts deal with in the music industry and talk about how we can solve some of those issues and maybe get better together. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So in taking the time to ask questions of and listen to women speak about some of the challenges that they have in the music industry, there's no doubt that there's some discussion that needs to be had. They've expressed things like being disrespected, harassed, not being taken seriously, and getting paid less. And things like this are really a problem because there's a lot of gifted and talented female musicians out there, some more so than us men. And when women are sort of marginalized in these ways, it makes things really hard for them, and it makes us all miss out on some really good talent. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not at all suggesting that all men are culprits of this in some kind of way, nor is this any sort of male bashing kind of thing. We men do work hard, and the vast majority of men that I know in the music industry and associate with are pretty upstanding gentlemen. It's just that there seems to be a lot of things like systems and traditions and stereotypes regarding female musicians that are perpetuated in the music industry that sort of create this unlevel playing field and put a lot of female musicians at a disadvantage. In a lot of cases, female musicians have to deal with things like being treated differently simply because of their gender. They have to deal with things like constantly being hit on and, a lot of guys having ulterior motives and things like that. And before it sounds like I'm vindicating myself, I probably as a guy have been guilty of these things knowingly and unknowingly at some point in the past myself. But that said, I want to offer a few suggestions as to how all of us, men and women alike, can maybe help solve some of these issues. And the first one is for us fellas, and that's just for us to maybe try to be a little bit more mindful of our own behavior around our female counterparts. Let's really be mindful and aware of a lot of the things that we say and do around our female musicians. We do things like make sex jokes all the time, and some of us even go as far as copping feels here and there. And to be honest, there are a lot of women who, are cool with that kind of stuff and just kind of take it in stride. But there are others who are really made to feel uncomfortable and put in uncomfortable situations when we do and say things like that. And there are even others who are just afraid to say something about it or speak up for themselves about things like that because they're afraid of being labeled as a B or, a difficult person or anything like that. So as guys, let's just be a little bit more thoughtful about our words, actions, and behavior. And another one for us guys is if you see something, say something. There's always some overzealous guy in the audience that's trying to impress his friends, or he's drunk and acting belligerent and, getting a little hostile. And women have to deal with everything from being flirted with to harassed and groped. And don't hear me wrong, a lot of women are strong and capable of taking care of themselves and more than able to handle situations like that. But in the spirit of togetherness and community for those around us in our bands, as guys, if you see one of your female band members in situations like this, just step in and assist as amicably as possible. Now, right before we get to the next thing, if you're getting value out of this video so far, do me a quick favor and hit the like button on this video. That helps with the algorithms and helps this video get shared and things like that. So go ahead and do that now. Now, ladies, one thing that you can do is try to be a little bit more steadfast when it comes to things like your pay. I know you've expressed things like being paid less and not getting the same opportunities. And I know dealing with us guys can sometimes be hard, but don't just accept anything that you think is less than your worth. You belong here in this industry and you have a place here just like the rest of us. And if you've taken the time to work at your craft and, hone your skills and shown your value, then don't just accept anything less than what you feel is your worth. This is actually a principle you've heard me discuss here on this channel many times. You've heard me talk about things like not accepting $100 gigs. And one of the biggest reasons for this is not getting used to accepting less than you are worth. So ladies, shine and do your thing and challenge a lot of these assumptions out there and the status quo when it comes to things like your pay. Now, another really powerful thing that you can do, ladies, is strive to break and challenge those assumptions and stereotypes and traditions that are out there, not just with your words, but also with your actions. And there are a lot of women out there doing this now. But what I mean is, if there are negative assumptions and stereotypes and traditions out there, like women aren't serious about music, or they just use their bodies to get ahead, or any type of negative stereotype, bust a hole in that stereotype with your actions. And you do that by being better. And don't get me wrong, this isn't some simple solution that's just going to fix everything, nor does it take the onus off us guys about this situation. But countering these stereotypes and assumptions by working really hard on your craft and honing your skills goes a really long way with diminishing these things. So go deep into the music theory and learn all of the riffs, runs, and tricks and chords and all of that stuff, and show the world that men aren't the only ones that can be good at that stuff. And not only that stuff, this also includes learning the business side of things. And a lot of women, of course, do this already as well, but it includes things like learning to negotiate and handle contracts and how to have conversations about getting hired and stuff like that. So learn these types of things if you don't already know how, and become good at them, because in a lot of ways that helps you from getting duped and being taken advantage of by a lot of male counterparts. Now, something that we all can do in addition to what I just said about improving yourself, because that's really something that goes for all of us, is just to work and strive to work together and treat each other better overall. Always strive to be empathetic and fair and do things in as appropriate manner as possible. At the end of the day, we all just want to do what we got into this industry to do, and that is to play some good music and have fun together and make some money. And that's much easier to do when we treat each other with respect and dignity, and not let things like ego and arrogance and pride and greed get the best of us. And speaking of arrogance, I did a whole series on the subject of musicians' egos and arrogance and more, and you can check out that series by clicking on your screen now.